Hello, good evening, and welcome to the UDisc Leagues webinar for Denmark. We really appreciate you being here with us today. We're going to walk through a bunch of what's new with the UDisc Leagues platform, help you get familiarized with everything the platform's capable of that we can cover within an hour, and we'll be answering questions as we go along. So to get started, I'm going to do a brief intro. My name is David Gerton with the UDisc Customer Success and Growth team. I'm joined by a few of my colleagues here. I'll put up a little intro slide so that you can get to know us, and then we will jump into a screen share, and I'll demonstrate the Leagues platform. So thanks again for coming, and I hope this will be an informative webinar for you here today. All right. Hopefully this webinar is popping up with the slideshow for you now. Thanks, Jen, my colleague who put together this wonderful slideshow as an intro. Jen is here. She has her camera off, but she's going to be able to respond to your questions in real time. So the webinar software has a questions button that you can use to ask questions throughout the webinar. And Jen works on the customer success team with me. She is an all-star who will be an expert in being able to provide the right resources, maybe even linking to some of our support documentation that's really thorough with some best practices recommendations. I already introduced myself. I'll give the other faces, Matt and Andy, a chance to introduce themselves here next. So Matt, let's go to you next.
Hey everybody, I am Matt Kruger. I'm the creator of UDisc. I met with Dennis recently to learn a little bit more about disc golf in Denmark, and that's kind of how this came to be. I know a lot of you probably don't currently use UDisc for leagues, but I know a lot of you use it for your casual rounds. And we're just here today to show you how capable the league and event scoring platform is these days. We've just finished a complete overhaul of it, rewriting almost all of it. And that's a good segue to introduce Andy, who is on the web team and built a lot of this stuff. So take it away, Andy.
Hello, everyone. I'm Andy. I work on the web team here at UDisc, which is responsible for building and creating a lot of the tools that you can use here. And yeah, like the past, year and a half almost, we've been working on our events and leagues platforms. So if you have any, questions, if you have used it, if you have any questions about if you haven't used it, what it's like, please feel free to ask me. Happy to answer any of them. And yeah, appreciate you guys all showing up.
Thanks, Matt and Andy. And Jen is in the background here. So she has her camera off and she is muted. That's the same for all of you who are in attendance today. We can't see you or hear you, but you can interact. So here are the ways that you can engage in the webinar. You have the questions button that I mentioned, which is the best way to ask questions, which we'll answer in real time. We'll also be happy to follow up. If we don't get to quite all the questions today in the live webinar, then we'll send a follow-up email after we're all set with the recording of this webinar and any other frequently asked questions that we might have missed. There's a React button as well that allows you to use emojis, let us know what you like, what's exciting, what you might not like. And we'll also have a follow-up survey in that email after we're all done here today. The follow-up email will include the recording, the survey to let us know what you think, and potentially any follow-up questions answered that we might have remaining. That will probably come on Thursday because tomorrow is a federal holiday in the United States. So the follow-up email will probably be coming on Thursday for all y'all. All right. Lastly, what are we actually going to cover today? We're going to be showing you the UDisc Leagues platform, what's new, what the platform's capable of, doing some demonstrations. We'll even do a live interaction where I'll create an event and everybody will be able to check in and experience the UDisc Leagues platform right on your phones. So you can look forward to that. We'll talk through some of the best practices for success and do our best to cover any questions that are asked in the questions tab. Before we jump into the demo, I briefly want to show you a couple of the mobile highlights. So today I'm going to be demonstrating UDisc Leagues from my computer. All of these tools are mobile optimized. So you can use all the UDisc Leagues functionalities as a league admin and or as a player, both on your computer and on your phone. On the phone, you can search for events via the Events tab in the UDisc app. I'm going to be showing you how to search for events on the web also. It's very much the same experience, just crunched down to fit the smaller phone screen. You can filter for your event search, and I'll show you a few of those things that are filterable in UDisc. The league admins also have really neat, convenient ways to access your league admin tools. So if you are in the UDisc app, you can see a little manage event button, which is also a little gear icon, like a hammer and a wrench. That icon is a button that will take you right to your league admin tools, and your event admin tools are full of really great ways that you can customize and manage and communicate with the players in your event. So even if you're playing in the event and doing double duty, wearing the event admin hat and also participating as a player, you'll be able to, for example, tap that little wrench and hammer icon directly from the active scorecard so that you can do any administrative tasks that you might need to do on the fly from your phone, even in the middle of your league round. So we'll make it really super convenient, and you'll be able to experience a little bit of that today. Although for the attendees today, you're just going to be players in my event that I create as a demonstration. I'll be the league admin here today. Without any further ado, let's jump right in. I will stop showing this intro slide, and the next thing I'm going to show is the actual UDisc Leagues platform. So let's go ahead and jump into that, and I'm going to show some leagues in Denmark here today, because I think that would be a little bit more fun. You can see I was doing a little bit of research before today's webinar, and I found that there are 75 active leagues in Denmark who are already using the UDisc Leagues platform. So that is pretty neat. I do have a poll that I'm going to put up, and that will be a good way to just get a sense of who's here and what's your level of familiarity with UDisc Leagues. So you can briefly see this leagues overview, which is how you can search and filter for leagues. And I'm going to put up a poll right now, which is just asking, have you used UDisc Leagues? So you can feel free to vote in that poll. That will give us, the UDisc team, an idea of whether you're familiar with this platform as a player, if you've run a league as an admin, or if you just have never seen it before at all. And that'll kind of help me to know what level of detail I should go into on some of the advanced features that we have to show off here today. So we have a good mix of folks here today, some players, some who are brand new to leagues, and that is awesome. So I appreciate that. All right, let's go ahead and show off how to find a league. I already updated the search to look in Denmark. You can search for an event or location this way by typing in the event name or the location name. I just typed in Denmark. But you can get more specific with a city name or a course name if you'd like. This disc golf club over at Disc Golf Park Vendia is pretty prolific. They have a bunch of league events scheduled coming up. And then you can see a few of the other leagues. I have filtered down to only league events here, which I will show you how I did that. I'm just giving you a brief overview of the next few days, and you can see just how many leagues are coming up with an event in the next few days. So here's the leagues tab. You could also search for specific events like tournaments or just glow events, for example. And if you would like to list a new event, that's this button in the upper right. So list a new event. This is how you would apply for a new league as well. Let's go ahead and do that, and I'll show you the basics of applying for a new league. You're going to be asked what type of event is it, and then you'll just say league. If you already have a league, then you'll be asked, do you want to create a new league event within your existing league? I created this demonstration league called Denmark Webinar here today. So that's why it's asking, do you want to create a new event in the Denmark Webinar League or start a new league entirely? UDisc Leagues is totally free for everybody. It is free for the league admins, free for the participants. And so I highly encourage you to apply for a new league if you have not already. If you don't have a league, but you're thinking about running one, there's really no risk in signing up. It is totally free in every sense of the word. This quick form will just ask you a few things like that league name. I called mine Denmark Webinar. The main course would be just where is your first league event going to be at. So if it's For example, a rotating league that goes and plays at a different event every week, that is supported on the UDisc Leagues platform as well. So you don't have to choose a new league for each different course that you're playing. This main course would just be, when is the next upcoming league event? Where is it going to be played at? And a couple of other things you'll be asked, what type of league format is it? Do you typically play doubles, singles? Is it a mix of both? You can do a mix of both under the same league as well. Once you have filled out these quick questions, then you can just hit this orange submit button, and the UDisc customer success team, which includes myself and Jen, who's in the background answering questions here today, will be very prompt at reviewing your league application and approving it quickly. And then once you have it approved, you'll get an email saying, hey, your league application has been approved, and you'll be linked directly to your league from that email. But there's a bunch of other ways that you can find your league. One is the dashboard. So in the UDisc app, if you go to the More tab, you'll see dashboard right at the top. And in the upper right of the website, udisc.com, you'll also see your little profile icon with a drop-down menu that allows you to access your dashboard. If you're a course ambassador, you'll see the courses that you're an ambassador for on the left, and then you'll see your leagues on the right. So let's go ahead and show you this Denmark webinar league. So this is the league that I created before we started here today. That's why it's already kind of pre-set up, if you will. But
one quick thing I wanted to say, just terminology. So we often in the US say league. I think a lot of you may say weekly or club event or something like that. It's kind of all the same thing. We just refer to them as leagues in this platform. So if you're running weeklies, that's the same thing.
Awesome. Thanks, Matt. And I will show you how to schedule out recurring events really easily for, getting your entire league season, all your weeklies up and running on UDisc in just a few clicks. It's quite easy. This dashboard piece is new. This is a little checklist to help you stay on top of setting up your league. And I'm going to go through it pretty quickly, but I do just want to briefly show you the league setup dashboard, which is kind of like your homepage for the league admin. I briefly want to make sure that you know how to get here. So this little exit league tools portal icon in the upper right allows you to jump out of the dashboard and out of the admin tools back into the public-facing league homepage. So here it is. There's really not much set up yet. It's just me as the league director and almost nothing else. There's a little gear icon in the upper right, manage. That's how you get back into your admin tools. So you can always use that upper right exit or manage to jump between the public player-facing experience for your league and your admin experience for your league. In the interest of time, I'm going to breeze through these settings super quickly. I think you'll pick them up pretty easily. And I will go ahead and publish one more poll here in the meantime. So I'll publish this poll, what excites you most about UDisc Leagues? And this is another one that you can feel free to vote in. You can vote multiple times if there's multiple of these things that you're interested in and excited about. So you can see that poll, and I'll go through this checklist super quickly here. So I'm going to create this Denmark webinar league and just go through things a little fast. But if you have any questions, then please don't be shy to ask. I'm always happy to go back and show something. Because we only have an hour blocked off for the webinar today, I'm going to do my best to cover as much as I can. And so just you'll see me kind of skipping past a few things just to make time to show off some other things. All right. The description field is a nice place that you can include information about, like, what's the buy-in entry fee for your league? What are the expectations? What kind of a league is it? And so if you would like to include information about, like, this is has a $5 ace pool buy-in, you can put it in the description field, and you'll also have a dedicated ace pool section that you can put that kind of information. The website's a good place to link your club website if you have one. And then again, these singles versus teams, this will not lock your league down to only be able to host those kinds of events. This will be the default setting that's automatically applied to the events that you create, but you'll always be able to edit them. So you can still create some singles and some teams events within the same league. I'll make this one singles, we'll make it shotgun, and you have all these different start formats, which again, you can configure on an event by event basis. Re-entry is a nice way to raise funds for your league. This is not the same as a cumulative scoring multi-round event. If you'd like to do that, I'll show you that later in the webinar today. But if you would like players to be able to, for example, take 2 attempts at shooting their best round, then only their best score will be shown in line in their positioning on the leaderboard. Any other attempts, if you use this revise functionality, will be dropped to the bottom of the leaderboard and grayed out like a duplicate entry, if you will. I'm not going to allow that for today. I mentioned the dedicated ace pool section. This is what I'm talking about right here. You can add information like it's $2 goes to the ace pool. Similarly, these other tags are filterable. So this will allow players to find a league that's right for them. If you use bag tags, you can say yes for that. If it's going to be a glow league, then players will be able to search for glow leagues and find your league in their search results. All right, so now I have my settings and I've checked off that box automatically by setting up those settings. I'll briefly go to divisions. I'm just going to show you we support in UDisc the standard PDJ divisions that you're probably already familiar with, as well as custom divisions. So custom divisions could be anything you like. It could be, a mixed division if you are running doubles and you'd like to have a mixed division. It could be a casual division if you want to have your league be super casual and you want to call that the division name. Then choose whichever divisions work for your league, and you can configure those specifically on an event-by-event basis as well. Lastly, I'll show you the photos, which is just a nice way to make your league look really cool. So I'll choose one of my local, my tag league, which has this one tag. It's been a few years, but I'm still hanging on to the one time that I took that one tag home. It was a good day. So I will make that the logo. If you have like a club logo, then that's a good place to do it, is in the logo section. And the cover photo allows you to either upload a horizontal landscape photo, or you can choose the course photo from the UDisc course directory. And that grabs the highlighted photo, the cover photo from whichever you chose as the main course for your league. All right, let's go ahead and jump in and we'll create a new event. And when we're creating a new event, we're briefly asked about standard versus custom events. I'm going to choose a standard event just to demonstrate what's like the basic kind of event. But Andy, if you'd like to talk a little bit about what custom events are capable of, I know you've worked on building the custom event functionalities, so that might be a good opportunity to showcase why you might choose a custom event.
Yeah, sure. Thanks, David. So for most cases, we recommend you just, create a standard event. If you have a 1-round event, which is a pretty common league style, at least here in the US, or, 1 round of your weekly, you can just use this. But we also want to allow people to use the full functionality of the events platform we have built. So if you have a format that you don't think fits into the standard event format, you can easily, instead of having chosen this option here, you could have chosen a custom event. And there you'll be able to create an event with multiple rounds, with multiple pools, all using the same things we have built for our whole events platform. There's lots of settings and configurations, and we here at UDisc are always able to help out with these. Help at UDisc is a great resource if you're wondering where you want, if this format is supported, what you want to do. So in general, for most of the weeklies, it seems like the standard event format will be great. But if you ever have any other formats, we support most other formats, and you can probably create almost anything you want using the custom event flow.
And real quick, so there's questions about how to find this event. So David hasn't quite finished creating it yet. So as soon as he's done creating it, then we'll be able to all see it in the app, and we'll show a QR code for you to scan. So just hang tight until he finishes setting this up here.
Yep, it's only a few clicks. I did want to be deliberate about showing you how to choose a different course here. So my primary course was a different one, and I clicked this little X icon to the right of the course name. That allows you to choose a new course. So you could choose, this is my local course, the Woods at Beauty Hill here in New Hampshire, but I did want to choose a course in Denmark for today's demonstration. Then you can choose the layout. We can play... we'll play the gold Ds today. And so I just wanted to show you that because some people have a hard time finding that change course option. That's how you would choose a new course for a rotating league that plays at different courses week by week, for example. I'm going to set this up as a recurring event just because I want to show you how to schedule out your league season. And then once I create the event, this orange button at the bottom, then you'll be able to search and find the event. So we're getting there. We're almost there. I will make sure everybody gets a chance to join this event. All right. So let's see. We'll choose bright and early. And the end time, just to be super clear, is not going to lock anybody out of participating in the event. The end time only displays on the league page for setting expectations for your players. It's not going to end anybody's round, and it's not going to cause anyone to not be able to check into the league that day. It will just show as a display information on the league page. All right, we already chose shotgun. We'll go ahead and use shotgun today. Scorecard stats speak to whether or not this league and the performance stats in this league will appear on players' profile stats. I'm going to say off since we're just doing a demonstration for the webinar here today. And, that would be an appropriate thing to choose if you're using mulligans or like a non-traditional scoring format. All right. Last thing is I'm going to go ahead and choose a couple of these optional extras tags to make this more searchable for players who are looking for this league. And this would be just for this series of league events that I'm creating. I'm creating a recurring event. And now you can see these events are scheduled out for the next few weeks. So I have an event today. I have events for the next couple of weeks. And now you should be able to find these league events. So that's what we're going to have you do next is find this league. And you can do that in the UDisc app, but also via these really neat share event quick links. So here you can see view share event quick link. And that's in my league admin tools. You can feel free to just scan this QR code to check into the event. Or if you're in the UDisc app already, you can go to the events tab and you can search Denmark webinar event. That's the name of the event that I created here today. It's called Denmark webinar event. You can check into it. It's today's one, June 18th. And this is an easy way. The quick link allows you to, print this QR code. You could display it on a Facebook page or whatever you might use for club communications. You could print it and put it at a table near hole 1 or wherever you're doing check-in. And this is just the quickest, easiest way to check into an event. So please do check in, and I will go ahead and take a look at who's checking in, and then we're going to participate in this league event as if we're really running a real event here today. So Denmark webinar event if you're searching it, but otherwise feel free to use this QR code. Awesome. Let's go ahead and take a look at the participants page, and then we can see who's found it already. All right, we got a few people who are checking into the league in a few different divisions, which is pretty neat. I'm on the participants tab right now in my league event tools. And I briefly wanted to show you a point of reference. In the upper left, you'll see this blue event tools indicator, which shows me that I am in the league admin event tools for this specific league event, for today's league event. So the blue means you're in a specific event. The orange means that you are in your league tools, overall league tools. And I'll just go ahead and hit back to league tools so I can demonstrate that for you. You can see now in the upper left, you see league tools. And then if you click on a specific event, like this June 18th event, then you'll have some quick link buttons like the participants button. That brings you right into the participants tab for this specific event. All right, I'm going to add myself just because I want to show you these tools. There's plenty of other ways that you can check into the event, and some folks are already finding it, but I'm going to check myself in via the add participant modal. So if you ever need to check somebody in the old-fashioned way, then you can use add participant this way. You can choose which division they belong in, and then you have these little housekeeping tabs that you can use. In UDisc Leagues, you cannot collect payments yet, so people can't pay for a league entry fee directly through UDisc Leagues yet. That is something that we'd like to support in hopefully a future updated version of the UDisc Leagues platform. But for now, you can check who has paid, and you can keep track of that within the participants tab. So that's what this Yes tab is doing. These private notes will allow you to say things like, okay, this player has paid into the CTP pool or the ace pot, or you can write something that only the league admins can see there. That's what those private notes do. And now you can see here I've added myself, and I have this little private notes indicator that shows that I wrote a private note for this player, who happens to be me. The little green icon here shows that I've paid, and I can easily check off who else has paid there just by assigning that little green $sign icon to them. All right, so now we have our players here in the participants tab. We are checked in, and I'm going to go ahead and create some scorecards next. So let's go ahead and do that next. The cards tab is where you can go to create card groupings. I have this standard event configured so that players could create their own card groupings. So you'll see now that you're checked in, you could even just create your own round, start a new round directly in the UDisc app. But I want to show you these card management tools just for the sake of demonstration, since that's what we're doing right now. We're demonstrating the platform. So I'm going to show you these create cards tools, and I'll briefly show you the edit cards menu, which will allow you to configure things to your liking. So I'll edit the cards. Let's go ahead and generate them, which will create cards. I now have a card of 4 people and a card of 2 people. I don't like it that way. I want it to be cards of 3. So what I'm going to do is move one player. I'll move Morton over here. I just dragged the 3 dots icon to move Morton over there to hole number 2. And there's a bunch of other ways that you could do that. These 3 dots icons allows you to manually move a player to a specific card. If you don't like the drag and drop experience, it'll probably be a little easier to use the 3 dots if you're on a phone doing these card management tools. So you can also hit the gear icon in the upper right to change the card settings. So if I say, well, hole 1 and hole 2 are a little too close to each other, then I can update the card details to say, okay, this card's actually going to start over on hole 10, and 9 a.m. is still a perfectly fine time. So I know that's in the past. I'm not too worried about it. All right, let's go ahead and generate these cards. I'm going to hit publish cards and show you there's 2 options when you're publishing cards. There's just publish the cards, or publish the cards and send a push notification to all the players. I always recommend doing that. It's nice to be communicative, and it'll allow all the players who have a card assignment to see what card they're on, what hole they're starting on, and who they are playing with directly on their phone with a push notification. Publishing the cards means that they are now live on players' phones, so they'll be able to see their card information like tee time, starting hole, and who their card grouping consists of. So you should see this push notification coming into your phone shortly. And we've already adjusted for the time zone. So mine, since I'm in New Hampshire right now, it's saying 3 o'clock a.m. my time is when 9 a.m. would be in Denmark. Now you can see to view and edit these cards, you would go to the leaderboard. And let's go ahead to the leaderboard next, where you can see the cards. So the cards are unlocked which means you can feel free to go ahead and start entering scores. And you can do that. You can go ahead and start entering scores now. I'm going to show handicaps or starting scores, because that's something we've seen popularly used in Denmark and requested for today to demonstrate. So I'm going to go ahead and show you how to do handicaps. So on the leaderboard, you'll see a few different tools. One is the diagonal pencil icon to the right of each player. If you click on that diagonal pencil icon, then you have an option to adjust scores and penalties. I'm going to give Kim a couple of starting scores, which are handicaps. So you can start a player with a negative score. We'll start Kim with 10 down. Or you can start a player with a positive score. Or they can start with 0. That's the default. So let's start Morton with a score of +3. And now you'll see this adjusted column, ADJ, shows an adjusted total score on the leaderboard. This adjusted total score will show you just what is the total, including that starting score adjustment. You'll notice a little dash for players who don't have an adjusted starting score. I'm Davey. I don't have any starting score. That's why it's just a dash there. But I'll also show you the adjust scores and penalties functionality allows you to override players' scores. So you can enter their scores directly through here. You can apply penalties as well here. So that's just the number of throws that the player is being penalized. Now you can see I have some scores, including an eagle there on hole 2, and I have a 2-throw penalty. So I erased that eagle with whatever I did to earn a penalty there. Feel free to keep entering scores. And I can see Renee might have just joined. Joined to the webinar, but hasn't checked into the event yet. So if anybody checks in late to the event, please feel free to let me know, and I can show you how to add somebody who might be a latecomer to a league. You can always add somebody to a card, even if they show up a little bit later than the intended starting time for the league.
Maybe show the QR again.
Yeah, good idea, Matt. So let's go back to my league event, and then I'll show you this View Share Event Quick Link button. So Renee, I know you're just joining us. I'm glad you got in. Please feel free to use this QR code to check yourself into the event, and then I can add you to one of these scorecards that we have going on. So this is just the easiest way to check into the event. It is searchable. I'm calling this league event the Denmark Webinar event. I know, really super creative name, but feel free to check in that way or by searching for Denmark Webinar event via the Events tab in the UDisc app. So once you've checked in, then I should be able to see you. Oh, wow, that was fast. I see you are already registered. Here's Renee. So Renee is in here now and checked in. And I'll go ahead and say Renee is paid. This is a free league. But not on a card yet. So if I go to the cards tab, I can now see, I have one unassigned player. So I can create a card with Renee. Oh, nice. Dennis is here too. So that's great. 2 players who aren't on a card yet. Let's put you out there together. We'll just make you a new card. And I'm going to start you, Dennis and Renee, on a different hole. Hole 2 is a tough one to start on. So let's start on 13A. I think that would be nice. And I'm going to go ahead and send you that push notification. So you should see that pop up. And now that you got that card assignment, you should be able to start keeping score. I'm looking at the admin leaderboard. It's worth mentioning that all these tools you see on the left-hand side of my screen, these are the admin tools. This whole panel is like my admin tool suite for my event tools. There is also a public-facing leaderboard. So I'm going to show you the public-facing leaderboard as well. If you hit Exit Event Tools, and then you'll see the League homepage. The Scores tab of the League homepage is how you can see that public-facing leaderboard. And this is shareable. So, you could share the League page if you want to share it. This little share button in the upper right allows you to share it with friends or family members who might want to watch and follow along from home. You can also basically just use the URL, of course. You can copy and paste that because that is the public-facing page. You don't even have to have a UDisc account to watch along with these leagues from home. And if you're in your scorecard, keeping score, then you'll see a little icon at the top of the scorecard, which it looks like 3 people who have their heads close together. They're playing in a league together, if you will, and they're on the leaderboard. That's how you can tap on that icon in your scorecard to check out the leaderboard in-app. So that is another one that I would recommend checking out. All right, I'm on the leaderboard. I showed the handicaps that I wanted to show. I showed manually overriding scores briefly. Torben just checked in and is not on a card yet. So that's awesome. I wanted to show that. So Torben's checked in, but I don't want Torben to just be on a card of one person. I do trust that you're going to keep your scorekeeping honest, Torben, but I'd rather put you on a card with multiple players. So I clicked the diagonal pencil icon to the right of Torben's name. You can see Torben is waiting for a card on the leaderboard here. So I'm going to just hit move to card, and now I can put Torben on one of these other cards. So card number 2 is on hole 10. Let's put Torben on that card, and now you can see it is a card of 4 players, not just 3. So there's Torben popping up here. We have obviously multiple divisions all on the same card. That's because everybody's playing the same layout, so it's really easy to have everybody on the same card if you are all playing the same layout. If you do want to run multiple divisions and multiple pools, the custom event option, which when you're creating a new event or converting your standard event to custom, that would support multiple pools, which when we say pools in UDisc, we're just talking about multiple divisions playing different layouts. Like, for example, maybe the pros are playing the long layout and the amateurs are playing the short layout. All right, since we're all in the leaderboard, we're all here checked in, I briefly want to show you some of the communications tools because communication is key. The updates functionality allows you to send things like your caddy book. If you're doing pre-registration and you have players registering for your event before the day of the event, then the updates tool is a really nice way to communicate with them before the event date. And the urgent alerts functionality, I think, is even cooler because this is a way to reach the players who are actually out there on the course. Maybe you've already sent players out there, but you forgot to mention something important. So this is how you can reach out to them. Urgent alerts via your league admin tools. And then you have a few different types of urgent alerts, which will be sent as a push notification to the players in the field. I'm going to send a warning and say there's a dangerous piece of mud near hole 1. So watch out for that mud. I'm going to send it to everybody, and you should get a push notification now through this urgent alerts functionality. And if you forgot to mention something else, like maybe it's, oh, I forgot to say that the CTP is on hole 9, maybe that would just be a piece of info, not a warning. If you have some really bad weather and you want to say to everybody, hey, sorry, but we're canceled, then you can use this urgent alert functionality for that. And if you did have to cancel a league event, then you'd also be able to go to the league leaderboard, use this actions menu, and lock all the cards. I would really only recommend doing that for like a cancellation, maybe some inclement weather came through and you wanted to make sure everybody gets off the course and stops keeping score. Locking the cards is how you can prevent players from keeping score. So I would recommend if it's something like, okay, you have some thunder and lightning and you have to cancel in a pinch, sending an urgent alert about that with a warning, and then locking all the cards is best practice for that type of inclement weather situation. All right. I'm going to pause briefly before I go too much farther to see if there are any other questions that we should address from the audience. And then I have a bunch of other things that I'm looking forward to demonstrating. So I'll stop talking for a moment to see if there's any questions we should answer.
I don't think anything too specific. We just what happened was we hit our limit on how many people can join the webinar in a month because we did a really big one last week. So sorry about people that had trouble joining. We've upgraded our account now, so we should have plenty of space. But if you know of anybody that was going to come and couldn't, feel free to let them know that they can join now. And we'll also send this recording out later too, so people can see it if they weren't able to get in.
Sweet. Thanks, Matt. All right, let's I'll put one more poll up just for fun. Which of these league formats might you use? And then that'll give us an idea. I know there's some people who are interested in seeing multi-round league events today, so I'll see if I can get to that before the end of our webinar, is showing a multi-round event. Right now, we're just showing you a one-round league event in this demo. So, multi-pool, maybe I can show that as well. Okay, cool. Glad to see that. Thank you for participating in the polls. That definitely helps me to know what to focus on in the webinar today.
One other thing I wanted to say too, so we showed sort of the handicap support that we have, which is entering starting scores. I don't know exactly how everybody runs handicaps, but what we've learned is that it varies widely depending on the club. So if you have any feedback, please let us know. For now, like David showed, you can type in a starting score for everybody, which is a good way to, they're showing the UI for that now, but that's a good way to do it. So if you have like pre-calculated handicaps you're using from a spreadsheet or something, you can put that in. We do plan to upgrade this in the future to actually calculate it for you, but we're not quite there yet. We're still kind of trying to learn all the various ways that people do this, because like I said, it varies widely depending on what club and what group is doing it. Everybody has their own spreadsheets and calculations they're doing. So any feedback you have on that, please ask a question or send it our way to help@udisc.com as we consider this for the future.
Sweet. Thanks, Matt. And then again, you can just see that adjusted column. That's what ADJ stands for, is the score adjustment based on those starting scores or handicaps that you may have entered. I briefly want to show you something I kind of glanced over, which is this neat search tools button. So when you're in your event tools, you can see this blue magnifying glass that allows you to kind of have a quick nav access to find the right page that you might need to make a change in within your admin tools. So I clicked on search tools here, and then you'll see some of these options are kind of pre-filled, but you can also search for it. So if you're looking for like, how do I add my photo? You can just type in photo. And then if you click on the result, then you'll be automatically taken to that page of your event tools. Similarly, if you're in your league tools overall, again, in the upper right, upper left, I see orange league tools. That means I'm now looking at my whole league, not just this specific June 18th event. I can even look at next week and weeks in the future. There's also a need help ? Button here that allows you to access some of the quick guides that are super comprehensive, have best practices recommendations. Some of them also have video tutorials, lots of screenshots, and the customer success team has taken pride in really making sure that these are thorough resources for helping you get familiarized with all the league tools. So especially if you're brand new to UDisc Leagues, I recommend checking out this need help button within your league tools. And if you're looking at a specific event, then the search tools functionality can be your best friend just for helping you get familiarized with things. So please don't be shy to play around and get familiar with these tools. Hopefully I'm able to show a lot here today during the webinar, but being able to actually click through it and interact with it directly is the best way to feel comfortable that you know how things work. So I highly encourage you to use those search resources within the UI. Awesome. All right. One more thing I wanted to show you while we're here on the leaderboard is bag tags. So if you run a league with bag tags, whether they're physical or just virtual on UDisc, you can hit the actions menu in the upper left of the admin leaderboard page, and then you can hit edit player values. I enabled bag tags as one of the optional extras. You might have remembered me clicking on, yes, this league does use bag tags for this event. And so that is why I have this bag tags option. But even if you didn't select bag tags, you would still have the payout option, which is a free text field. So you can use this to display payouts on the leaderboard if you'd like. And I know the event that we're doing right now is still ongoing, so maybe it's a little bit premature to be showing payouts or entering payouts already since players are still out there on the course. But this would be something that you could do after the event is all over as well, to show who's earning which payouts and which bag tags players are taking home too. So, if you do use bag tags, this is not automatically calculated, kind of similar to starting scores or handicaps. It's not automatically calculated. However, it is something that's optional that you can apply to the leaderboard. Let's go ahead and save that so that you can see the leaderboard now, which includes that pay column and the bag tags column. So you can see those on the admin leaderboard. And if I hit the exit event tools portal to just show the public facing leaderboard, you can see that here too. Here's the bag tags and the payout column. Hopefully you can hold on to this great round map, because I have you listed as taking $100 home today. All right. So a couple last things that I'm going to show, since we have about 15 minutes left in the webinar, is I'm going to show you how to do a multi-round event. That seems like one of the most commonly requested things to demonstrate. So I'm on today's event, and if I hit this little edit pencil icon in the upper right, I still have the option to make this a custom event. Maybe our league decided on the fly today that we actually want to play a second round because it's such a beautiful day. So let's go ahead and do that. I'm going to make this a custom event. Again, just want to briefly back out to show you how I got here. I clicked on the league from my league tools. I clicked on today's event and just hit edit in the upper right, this pencil icon. That's how I can make it a custom event, and then hit this orange make this a custom event button. Making it a custom event allows me to review the information. Okay, everything still looks good here. I'll briefly add help@udisc.com just to emphasize this is the best email address to reach out to the UDisc team if you have any questions or would like some of those best practices recommendations or some of the more thorough help resources. The help@udisc.com, that's HELP@udisc.com email address, will get in touch with the customer success team, and we'll be more than happy to let you know what we would recommend for running your league and point you to the right resources to make sure that you become an expert in the tools before you're out on the course with your league. So help@udisc.com is also a good way to reach out if there's any other questions, not just leagues questions, because you'll reach our entire customer success team that way. I'm in my event tools, and now you'll see there's a registration tab. That's new. Registration allows you to track pre-registration. So if you wanted to open this up a few days ago, then you can run pre-registration in UDisc this way. Obviously, we're already on June 18th, so I don't really necessarily have to show this right now. However, it's really easy once you have a custom event to open pre-registration. The check-in flow that you did today only opens on the day of the event. Pre-registration allows players to indicate that they're planning to attend this league event in advance, as long in advance as you open up that window. You can have pre-registration open really far in advance if you would like. I've already had players check in, so that's why I need to have players check in here. And then once you have already started the league event, then you can't flip it to teams because I already have players entering scores as singles. So let's go ahead to divisions and pools briefly, because I do want to show how to do multi-pool. There are a few requests for multi-pool. The divisions and pools functionality, like the registration functionality, they really give you a lot of options with a custom event. So pools, again, means you might have some divisions playing one layout and other divisions playing another layout. So I've just added a second pool, and now I can start moving divisions to this pool. So this is the second pool, and I don't think that I need all of these divisions in the first pool. So I can edit this pool and move divisions around. I think I'm actually blocked a little bit since I have an active round with players participating right now. But this is how, I have a published round already, and that's why I can't move divisions around. So I would recommend setting up, obviously, pre-registration in advance before your league event, as well as multi-pool. That's not really something you should be doing on the fly of assigning specific divisions to specific layouts, but it is something that you can do. All right. I'll actually just delete this second pool to prevent any confusion.
You can make another round and do it, though.
Right. I can do a second round, which I am going to do right now. So I'm on the rounds tab here. I can hit add round. And then I can make this round a little bit later today. So let's make it at 11 o'clock at night. This will maybe be our glow round. And I'll say it goes till 11:59. Again, that end time is not going to lock anybody out. It's at the same course, and we'll play the white layout for our glow round. The scorecard message is a nice place to include information about like what hole is the CTP, or if you're playing with some new OB rules, or you have any format changes that you'd like to be available within the active scorecard for players. The scorecard message is another communication tool that you can use for those types of things.
For a little more context, if you do set a scorecard message, every player will see that when they open the scorecard. So they'll be forced to see it once. So it's a really good place if you want to share some rules, or if you're making some OB rules specific for league and you want to remind people like, hey, the road or the path on hole 3 is OB. That's a really good place to do that because every single person that opens the scorecard will be forced to see that once.
Right. And then they can pull it up again via a little message bubble icon in the scorecard as well. So it's always accessible. All right, we have that second round set up. You saw that was pretty simple to set that up now that we have a custom event. And I'll briefly try to create this pool again. So let's do it. Let's do it live, as we say. Add this pool. And now I should be able to create that Pool B experience. Okay, I need to configure which divisions are in Pool B.
You can always add another division.
Yeah, let's add the division for Pool B. The B pool players. All right. My creativity is on another level with the namings today. So I have no scheduled rounds. I have, this B pool players who are not in Pool A. So I can add them to Pool B. I think I can add them to Pool B. Guess I have not done this on a live event before. No divisions are able to be moved to this pool.
They're already there, David. You already did it. Don't worry.
Oh, they are. Yeah, I was looking right past them. So let's give them a round. Let's say, for example, that you want the B pool players to only play one round, and you want the A pool players to play 2 rounds. So A pool is over at gold and white for their rounds. Let's have the B pool play only the red layout today. So that would be a good opportunity to use pools. We'll go down to red. There we are. I'll create a scorecard message. And then anyone who checks in for the B pool will see that scorecard message and will be able to participate on the red layout for their only one round. For the B pool, you can see on the rounds tab, you now have tabs, Pool A, Pool B, so you can see which rounds each pool is playing and which layout they're going to be on. If you go back to the leaderboard, you also have similar tabs, Pool A, Pool B. We don't have any cards in Pool B yet because we don't have anybody in that B pool division. So that's why there's nobody on that leaderboard. But you'd have the same tabs both on the admin leaderboard and on this public-facing leaderboard here. Once you have any players in there, then you'll see that same tab of Pool A versus Pool B. All right. So we've gone through the urgent alerts. We've gone through the updates. I think that's pretty much all the key things that I wanted to show here today. I briefly want to show you the scoring tab since we do have a custom event here. One really neat tool within the scoring tab of custom events is locking down scorecard management to just the event admins. Although I created the card groupings and I sent them out to you with your whole assignments here today, you did have the ability to also create your own cards. With a standard event, that really simple, casual flow of players being able to create their own scorecard groupings, that is the default for these standard events. But when you create a custom event or you convert your standard event to a custom event, then you unlock the ability to prevent players from creating their own scorecard groupings. So if you, the league admin, want to be the only one who sends out scorecard groupings, maybe you're managing specific groupings of players that you want out there, maybe you're assigning whole assignments and or tee times, then you should choose just event admin from the scoring tab for your custom event. And that way players will not be able to create their own cards and you will be responsible for all of the card management. So that just event admin setting is under the scoring tab. And you can have multiple event admins. So you can share the responsibility with other event admins. You can have plenty of league admins if you'd like. Oh, nice. Now I have round one waiting here for my B pool. So as you can see, from the left-hand side, this panel of admin tools kind of walks you right down. You start at the top with the basic settings. You configure registration, divisions, and pools before the day of the event, and then you'll be able to make sure that your scoring settings are how you want. The rounds are configured for whichever pool or pools you might have, and then you can start assigning cards to those specific pools and divisions and then get them out there. So you go basically from the top to the bottom of the league admin tools here. So I have 3 cards in progress. I don't really have to end the event. I do want to make it clear to everybody who's on the webinar here today that I am going to delete this league event shortly after we wrap up the webinar. I'm going to delete all your scorecards that we've created since they're not real scorecards. And I am going to delete the league event also that we used for the purpose of demonstration today, just so that nobody's confused who might be looking for this event in real life. So I'm going to be following up with deleting all of those things pretty shortly. And then I just want to reiterate that we did record today's webinar and we are going to be following up on Thursday of this week for the recording of the webinar, a brief follow-up survey to get your thoughts on how today's webinar went and any other questions that you might have. And so you can expect that follow-up email coming on Thursday of this week, since tomorrow is a holiday. The UDisc team is going to be taking a holiday tomorrow. And so feel free to share that recording link with anybody else who you think might be interested in this. Hopefully this has been a useful demonstration today. I hope you've all learned something. I know we're at the top of the hour. I've been talking a lot, so I'll go ahead and stop myself from rambling on any longer. And Matt, if there's anything else you'd like to say before we wrap, then I'll pass it over to you now.
Yeah, so just wanted to address some of the questions, talking with Renee here. People that use like PDJ style score verification, we don't have that exact thing in place yet. It's something that we are investigating. It's been on our roadmap. We deferred it a little bit since most of our focus has been on unsanctioned play so far. So if you're looking for the PDJ style where like multiple people on different phones have to say like this score is correct, we don't have that now, but we do at the end of the round show everybody's score, and you have to tap a checkbox to say like, yep, this score is right, this score is right, this score is right, this score is right before you submit it. So just stay tuned. We will have more in that area. For a little bit more context too, we ran over 80,000 league events last year across the world, across 10,000 different clubs or leagues. So this is a well-tested, highly used piece of the UDisc ecosystem that you may not be familiar with. We just finished rebuilding the whole thing, and now it's in a lot better shape than it was before, and we're really proud of kind of the state it's in. I know we showed a lot of stuff and went very quickly kind of the nature of only having an hour to do this. So sorry if some of that seemed confusing. I'm sure when you get in there and click around, it's pretty intuitive. And we've done a really good job, I think, not to toot our own horn, but to show people this as we're building it and make sure that we're building stuff that is useful. We know that there's still a lot more that can be added, and this is kind of just the beginning of this. Like I said, we focused mostly on unsanctioned play up to this point. So if you need a few more bells and whistles, like exporting stuff to PDJ and things like that, that's not available right now, but we do have a way to export scores from the leaderboard. So you can export to a spreadsheet and get it into PDJ if you need to. But yeah, keep the feedback coming. Like, part of the reason we're doing this is because leagues and weeklies, they work just totally differently everywhere around the world. And a lot of our focus has been sort of US centric to this point, and we're really keen on figuring out like the best solution that works for everybody around the world. And that's one of the reasons that this is totally free. Like, we want to make sure that people have these tools available to them. We know it's a lot of work to run these leagues. Almost everybody doing it is volunteering. They're not getting much out of it besides, camaraderie and getting to play with people. They're not getting paid. And that's kind of the approach we've taken with this as well, is that we want a really good free thing to just help competitive disc golf proliferate. We want more people to be able to play, to discover that there are events in their area. We've seen a lot of success. A lot of people use UDisc. We have 1.5 million people using the app around the world, hundreds of thousands in Europe, and even in Denmark, it's about 20,000 people that use UDisc in the last year. And so it's a really great way, even just listing your event on the events tab in the app, people will see that and they may join your club. And that's something that, we have more plans to do more stuff with clubs. I know, as we've talked with Dennis and some others, like, clubs are so important to disc golf, just awareness and competitions getting bigger. And so if you have any feedback on what we could do to help support the club side of things, we'd love to hear that as well. And like I said, this is really just the beginning of this piece of the UDisc offering that we have out there. So I'm sure a lot of you use this for your casual rounds. Hopefully you've seen this as a really good way to run your weeklies. Again, it's free, no charge at all. You just have to make an account with an email. That's it. It's pretty easy. You can get up and running in a few minutes. So yeah, share this video with people when we get it out to you. And again, thanks for your time. And I'll let Andy has anything to add before we end here.
Yeah, sure. Thank you again all for coming. Really appreciate it. And yeah, just to reiterate, this platform is like pretty new and recent. So we're like still very much working on it and adding things. Like, it's not like if you reach out to us with a feature, we'll just ignore it because it's, some old thing. Since we just built it, we're totally happy to take feedback and make improvements and add suggestions. Even if you have a random fun idea, you're like, oh, that would be cool. We'd love to hear it because we want to make this platform as fun and easy to use for everyone as possible.
Yep.
So, yeah, really appreciate it.
The follow-up email that we'll send will have a survey asking for some of those thoughts on things maybe could make this even better. And then HELP, that's help@udisc.com, is the best way to reach out to us with any other thoughts or questions or concerns that you might have. Matt mentioned exporting from the leaderboard. I realized I forgot to actually call that out. But on the public-facing leaderboard, you do have this export button. So you can do that to get an Excel spreadsheet of all the whole scores, all the information, including even bag tags and payouts if you've added those. So the export functionality you can do for all your weeklies. Each leaderboard is exportable. So I hope you'll find that to be a useful tool too. And one last thing that I wanted to say is, for those of you who are course ambassadors, these leagues are a great way to get a more accurate play count for how many people are actually playing disc golf at your course. The leagues, I noticed that there's 75 active leagues in Denmark right now, but they're on UDisc. But there's definitely more leagues in Denmark. So being able to host these leagues on the UDisc Leagues platform, which is totally free, even if you're running multi-pool, multi-round events, it's totally free for everybody, the admins, the participants, everybody. It is also a great way to get a better increased play count in UDisc and get those performance statistics that can then help with conversations to maybe get more courses in the ground or more funding to improve your existing courses, that data can be really powerful for you. So the Leagues tool is a great way to get more out of that course ambassador data. I think that's everything we had for today. We really appreciate everybody's thoughtful questions and your attentiveness. Appreciate your time here. I know it's getting late in Denmark right now, so thank you for joining us this evening. If you have any questions, please don't be shy to reach out to our team, and we'll be looking forward to hearing from all y'all. And just want to say thanks again, everybody. Hope you find that the Leagues platform makes your lives easier, and I hope you have an awesome League season. So I'm going to go ahead and end the recording, and I hope that you will rewatch it and or share it with some of your friends soon. Thanks again, everybody. Talk to you later.